Hey, what's up, y'all? Normally my videos are real lighthearted and funny, and I'd start off with a really funny intro or something stupid, but today I'm talking about a little bit more serious of a topic. And I don't do serious. There's two things I really don't do in my videos. I don't have my wife and kids in my videos all that much. And secondly, I don't do serious stuff all that often. My shit is mostly lighthearted and joking because that's just who I am. That's my personality. But I'm going to talk about something that affects a lot of people today. It affects my family directly. I've made a couple of videos previously, and I talked about I have a 6-year-old son that's autistic. I'm going to talk about autism today. I'm going to talk about autism awareness a little bit. I'm going to tell you my story a little bit with my son. I watched a video with Jared Weems, and he had his son in it. His son's autistic, and it kind of made me think about April being Autism Awareness Month. April the 2nd was National Autism Day. And I just decided I'm going to do a quick video talking about autism. And hopefully this video will help somebody who either has a child with autism, or you may know somebody has a child with autism. And I'm hoping that maybe I can give you some words of encouragement for them, or if you're watching this and you have a child with autism, I hope I can give some words to encourage you. We started noticing that something was different with my son right before he turned 2. Before that, my son was verbal and he would talk. We noticed that he just stopped talking all of a sudden. He started pointing and grunting, and he didn't use his words. At one point in time, he could say clock and light and watch and mommy and daddy and my kids' names. And then it started pointing and grunting, and we didn't know what it was. We thought, well, we'd kind of gone through a traumatic thing. A tornado had hit our house, and we had moved out, and we'd moved back in our house like 9-10 months later. So we thought, well, maybe being in a new house is throwing things off for him. And then we started doing some research about autism and things. I was very much in denial. I'm one of those people that there's nothing wrong with my son. My son's fine. He's just behind a little bit. There's nothing wrong. I didn't want to admit it. I had a problem with it. My wife, on the other hand, was as kind and as patient as she could be with me. And she said, we need to get him tested. When we did get him tested, the first thing we found out was that my son was autistic. When we got the diagnosis, it was a really tough punch in the gut because I didn't know anything about autism. I just, there was times where my son would act up and I would think he's just being bad, and I would take him out of the restaurant and put him in the van, and or I'd have to leave the meal, or he would be acting up, and I'm like, man, this kid he just won't behave. And I didn't realize that he had so many sensory issues that when we were in the restaurant, all these people talking, all this noise, and the background noise of the restaurant was just driving him crazy. He would just sit there and he'd ball up and start shaking, and he would just start getting louder and louder and louder. And I didn't understand. Looking back on that now, I feel guilty that I was hard on my son when he couldn't help what was going on. We didn't know what to do. We didn't know how to feel, how to act. We were told there's a good chance your son will live with you the rest of your life. And that was just, my wife and I both are in tears because I don't care that my son's autistic. His brain just works different than mine and yours. I don't want to change him. I don't want to, I just want him to be successful, enjoy life, and be happy in life is what I want. We immediately started looking at options. We started doing therapy. When he got to the age where he could enroll in pre-K, we put him in a special needs program and got him in school early to get him around other kids because, my son doesn't like to be around other people. I would say he's antisocial like dad a little bit, but it's different than that. He doesn't really like to play with other kids. He likes to play with his older brother and his older sister and his younger sister, but that's it. Like, it's family. He doesn't want to be around other people and play with other kids. So he's kind of started breaking away from that, where he'll do some of those things. And there's parents out there right now that you're dealing with an autistic child. And I'm going to tell you, I'm so blessed. My son went from being nonverbal, he's verbal now. My son can have a conversation with you. He can tell you what's wrong. He doesn't have the words. Now, he's very much behind in speech. He's very much behind in language. It's amazing. He's ahead in math. It's how autistic kids' brains work. Some of them, they're amazing in math. He's in kindergarten, and he understands math very well. It's just amazing. He can count and do all these things that I think are awesome. But then, he has trouble telling you that, he can tell you his first name. He has trouble sometimes telling you his last name. But I'm blessed because, man, there are people that their kids are nonverbal. There are people that their kids won't do anything but look at the Kindle. There are people their kids won't be around anybody. We've gotten to the point now, I've learned my son, we can take him to the restaurant. And if we go early, we're good. If we go late, we may have some problems because of the amount of noise and just all the people. And he just can't have all that stimulus because it's just too much for him. One of the main reasons I want to make this video is because there's a parent out there right now that feels hopeless. You have a child with autism. They're different. It's not like other kids. I have 4 kids total, and 3 of my kids none of the rest of them have autism. And it's just night and day different. And there's times I've gotten angry before when people stare at my son. That bothers me. When people stare at my son or act like, oh, he's just a little badass, he's just being bad, and they don't realize that he's autistic. Man, it burns me up. It hurts my heart too for my son, because I'll see people stare at him like, what the hell is wrong with him? And because they don't understand, they don't know. What I would say to you is, if you see a child or you're around an autistic child, they're different. They're not like, I hate to say regular kids, because who the hell's regular these days? There's certain sensory things that they can't stand. My son doesn't really care for music. He doesn't like loud noises, but he's like Tarzan. He's loud himself. He has my son has no perception of volume control. He's just is always loud as shit. But that's okay. He's learning. And if you're around autistic children, you know what? Just trying to understand them, watch them, love them. If you know somebody that is a parent to an autistic child, man, just be there for them. Try to be a shoulder that they can lean on every once in a while, because it's different. And I'm not ashamed of my son. I'm not going to hide my son. I'm proud of what the strides my son has made. He's an amazing little boy, and I'm very blessed to be his dad. I learn more from him on a daily basis than my son will ever learn from me. It took until he was about 4.5, 5 years old before the first time my son told me that he loved me, which was hard because my son's not affectionate, but he gave me a hug and told me he loved me. And man, that made it all worth it. It didn't matter to me anymore. So if you're out there and you want to try to give, there's plenty of autism. There's an Autism Foundation. There's plenty of things out there to help autistic kids. For you bikers, there's always rides. If you just get involved, be there for your friends that have autistic children. My main goal with this video is, if you have a child with autism, there's hope. Don't get discouraged. Don't get downtrodden. I know sometimes, especially when you have kids that are nonverbal, it's hard. I know it's hard on you parents out there, and it's hard on you grandparents and family members and friends. But you know what? Hey, just keep on plugging along, because your kid is special. There's your kid's different, but your kid's special. And you know what? As a parent of an autistic child, I learned I don't want to change my son. I don't want to change him. I don't want to make him something that he's not. I just want to help him live the best life he can live. And I want him to know that he's got a family that loves him and supports him. So if you're one of those people that has an autistic child and you're lost, you don't know what to do, or you think your child could be autistic and you think you might need to go get testing, hey, my Instagram link is in the beginning of the video and at the description of the video. Hey, hit me up with a DM. If I don't have an answer for the question, my wife probably does. If she doesn't have an answer, I'll find somebody who has an answer for you to help you. One person in particular I want to mention before I forget. My son had a teacher. She's an amazing person. She brought my son in and treated my son like he was family, and helped my wife and I, and gave us hope. Because nobody had given us hope until we got to the school where Amanda was at. And Amanda gave us hope and made us feel like that our son was going to be fine and that he was going to flourish. And he has. He's done much better. So I want to say thank you to Amanda for what you've done for my family, and I appreciate you. There's good people out there, people who will help you. And if you're a person who needs help and you have a child with autism, please feel free to hit me up. If you know somebody with a child with autism and they seem like they're lost, hey, tell them about Big Smitty. Show them this video, and maybe I can do something to try to help them or get them with the right people, okay? Hey guys, thanks for watching. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that little bell icon, and so you get notifications when I make these videos. I know today's video is way more serious than normal. That's not my normal thing that I do. But with it being Autism Awareness Month, I felt like the time was right to make this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and thank you guys as always for supporting me and supporting my family, and I really appreciate that. So I want you guys to have a great day. Let's try not to be assholes to each other, and I'll see y'all next time.